to sell you. The restorative processes rests on the premise that all misbehavior can be addressed by having a conversation with a student and by encouraging them to understand the impact of their actions on themselves upon others, encouraging them to see what they should be doing better, and to make some kind of restorative relationship with the people that they've wounded or injured. Right? Sounds lovely. I don't care if it sounds lovely. It's rubbish. It very rarely works at the kind of scale and model that people are trying to talk about. It's a useful tool for some circumstances and situations. For instance, when you're trying to restore a relationship between two people that have fallen out, it's a useful mediation process. And I'm all for mediation. But number one, don't forget that coming from the prison system, it already comes from a penal-based system with lots of sanctions and punishments. And number two, what people try to do is they try to use restorative processes to replace all other processes. Now, you've got a classroom and somebody shouts, "This lesson's bollocks, Mr. Rogers," as I'm sure never happened to you, and then chucks a pen at you. What are you supposed to restore it out? You're supposed to chat it out right there and then? It's completely impractical in a challenging classroom on a minute-by-minute basis. It's not bad as a supplementary tool to use, but it mustn't replace, for instance, other supportive mechanisms like, for example, sanctions. It can be used alongside sanctions, but not to replace it.
Do you think it is replacing it in a lot of schools? I mean, it must be if NASUWT are coming out and saying it is.
I go to lots and lots of schools. I go to a lot of, it's all I do. So I go to schools and I look at the behaviour systems. There are a lot of schools, there are very few schools that don't use any form of sanction. But it's not absurdly extreme like that. But what you tend to find in schools that the majority of their processes are restorative. You know, the staff will say, we are restorative, and the leaders will say, we are a restorative school. Staff are expected to use restorative process as a first instance. And so, you know, the kids will have to come back at the end of the day for a restorative chat. Now, check this out. It tends to be the same kids who would have normally have attended detentions. Number two, they learn very, very quickly what to say to get out of the conversation. Number three, there's a very strong sense that they've gotten away with it. A lot of kids just go, well, that was easy. You know, nothing happened to me. There's no suspension coming out of this. There's no fear that anything I don't want to happen is going to happen to me. And unfortunately, you do need to have those sanctioning principles and processes in place. Otherwise, you're going to lose all sense of security or safety in the school. There is